Hey guys, it's Carrie, and in this video we're going to be setting the game over screen for when we lose in defusing the bomb. So let's see, what makes us lose is when we get time left of 0. So to end up with a game over screen, what we're going to do is we're going to say, inside of our set interval loop where we're worrying about time, the way that if and else if statements work is that once you have an if statement, all of the else if and else statements below it are going to be connected to that initial if statement. So to start a new chunk of if statements, we can just, or a new chunk of if, else statements, we can just start by creating a new if one. And now this one will be totally disconnected from the check here. So what I want to do for a game over is I want to check if time left is equal to 0, then we should get a game over screen. So let's just pause for a minute and have it alert out game over. And then the last thing I think that we'll need to have happen here is we no longer really want to run this loop about counting down the time once we get a game over. So we need to clear this interval. And I looked this up this morning, and apparently the way that you clear an interval is you give your set interval a name. So we'll say let clock interval equal this. And now that our set interval has a name, we can clear the interval. So we could do clear interval. And then we give the name of the interval that we're clearing. So ours is not time interval, but clock interval. And make sure that your capitalization matches. Okay, so this should work. So I changed my time left to 5 momentarily. It's going to start off saying 60, but it will do a 5-second countdown, and this should make it much shorter for the video instead of waiting the whole 60 seconds for our game over. All right, so we get a game over alert. That's awesome. All right, now in thinking about the game, I think it could be more fun to not have a game over alert, but to actually have just a screen appear here. So I'm going to create, let's see, a brand new div down at the bottom. So we've got this div called content right here. And next I'm going to create a div called with class equal to game over. And inside of this div, we'll have an h1, and it will just say like game over kaboom. And I'll put a h2 for kaboom. All right, so let's see how this looks. It's going to look pretty bad because that div will just be over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the style, and I'm going to take the content div, and I'm going to try to make it hidden. So I don't remember the property for this. CSS hidden. Visibility property. So I'm just going to try to make content invisible. So visibility hidden. And if this works, it should completely clear out this entire div, or completely hide this entire div. Okay, so hidden looks like that. Let's see, I don't really want hidden, I don't think, because hidden makes it disappear, and then it's like still like kind of taking up space. So let's see, what is collapse? No, that's for tables. The element is hidden but takes up space. How to hide an element so that it doesn't take up space. Display to none. So let's see if that works better. So we'll do, instead of this, we'll do display none. Oh, that works much better. That's exactly what I was hoping for. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this display none shortly, but I think that when the game ends, we want to make the display of the content none, and then we want to move this over into the center. So let's style this guy. So game over. Oops. game over should have basically the exact same style as his content. So I'm going to copy and paste content. And I'm going to change it to game over. So the width is still 600. Margin auto will center this. Text align center, we'll put it in the center. Background black, we'll keep the background of it black. And I'm going to delete this display none. And I'm going to delete this display none. Let's see how things look. All right, so now we've got the game over below. I'm going to change this back to display none, not inline, display none, and then refresh it. So the game over screen will actually look like this, which I think is pretty perfect. So now I'm going to get rid of that from the content, because ideally what we really want to do is we want to have, while we're playing the game, just this, and this not displayed. So here we go, game over. This is the thing that we want to start off with display none. So that our game over screen is hidden, things count down, when it reaches 0, it hides this, and then it will show this. So now basically we're in a normal setup, and we need to go to our JavaScript, and we need to say, instead of alerting out game over, what we want to do is we want to, up here, we need to select the two things that we're going to interact with. So the two things that we're interacting with right now are the content and the game over div. So let content equal document.querySelector content. And I need the dot because I'm selecting it using its class. Let game over equal document.querySelector game over. And now that we have these two things selected, we can say that when time left equals 0, we want to go to content, and we want to change the style of it such that the display is none. And what that should do is it should just be like when we were in the CSS. It should take the content and change its display style to none. And then we want to go to game over, and we want to change its display style to block. And I think this should work. Let's see if it does. All right, so here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So our game over screen works. I'm pretty happy about that. We could also add a sound effect here, but you guys know how to add a sound effect. So I am going to actually just put the comment here, add a kaboom sound effect for when we lose the game. All right, so I think that that's the end of our game over video. We still need to be able to have the opposite version, which is the successful diffusion of the bomb. And we're going to do that in our next video. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.